This is the point where I personally see so many lifters get stuck. A bodyweight snatch, hitting that 100 kilo clean and jerk milestone, or even a 1.5 times bodyweight clean and jerk. And it's not because the lifter is weak, it's actually quite the opposite. If you're, say, an average bodyweight male, let's say 85 kilograms, and able to have the strength to snatch bodyweight, you'd need around 140 kilogram back squat, which I would say is even still slightly an overshot depending on your proportions. But for many lifters, they're already there in that strength regard, and they're still stuck. So the question is why? It's because up until this specific point with those lifts that I've mentioned above, you've essentially been able to muscle your way through the lift, which works, until it doesn't. You can also test your own numbers using my efficiency calculator. It's at the link at the top of the description, which will factor in your weight, whether you're male, female, and your direct proportions. Now, at lighter weights, you can get away with a lot. Bad positions, terrible timing, just pulling and praying essentially. But with enough weight on the bar, every shortcut you're taking eventually gets exposed. So using my experience in coaching weightlifters across 27 different countries, I'm going to tell you the top 5 mistakes that I see from weightlifters that end up hitting this wall where they can't muscle through the lift any longer. Because from what I've learned through coaching weightlifting globally is that the language of weightlifting technique is universal. Now, the first mistake I see is losing leg drive from the floor. If you're treating that first pull to the knee like a deadlift, you're likely setting your knees too far back in the set position, your hips are shooting up, your chest drops, and you're using the back from the get-go. If you're coming from, say, a general strength and doing conventional deadlifts in your background before weightlifting, you may think doing it this way actually looks correct for you. And it even says it in the name. First pull, second pull, third pull, but what you've actually done is completely kill the ability to apply force properly in these lifts. Efficient lifters treat the first pull like a leg press, pushing through the ground, keeping mid-foot pressure, and staying over the bar with the shoulders. And if that's gone early, the lift is already compromised. And it almost always leads straight into this next mistake, number 2, which is overpulling with the arms. Say you make that former issue going into the second pull, what you're going to do is compensate. And what lifters may do if they're lacking leg drive is by pulling the bar up with the arms beyond the hip, bending the arms early in the means to finish your extension by using the arms. And this is the exact opposite of what you need here. After you extend with the legs, the arms don't pull the bar up, they pull you under the bar. And if you really want to get a feel for what that's supposed to feel like, try throw in some tall snatches or tall cleans before your technical work. That'll show you exactly how the arms are supposed to work. Pulling you under, high elbows, and bar close to the body. Which brings us to the next mistake, number 3, which is the inability to keep the bar close. Now, simply trying to keep the bar close is one thing, but keeping the bar closer is a lot easier if you're not pushing it away in the first place. Patience over the bar with the shoulders, engage lats to keep that bar traveling up the thigh in the pull, while at the same time enforcing vertical leg drive. Those 3 things done together is exactly where the bar needs to be. Without them, you'll find the bar deviating and traveling away from the body, where you'll end up jumping forward, jumping backwards excessively, instead of moving together into extension with balance. The fix isn't exactly bar path. Bar path is what happens when your positions are correct. A nice close bar path is what happens as a byproduct when all of those positions are in check, not something as you consciously do as the main objective. Now on to number 4, which is not having an active pull under. After extension, this is where a lot of beginners switch off. Without an active pull under, you'll essentially lose connection to where the bar is. And that's where a bar crash will typically come from. After the legs extend completely, that's where the arms immediately need to come into play to maintain tension on the bar. That's what will let you feel to where you need to meet the bar, ride it down, and lock out with control. Without that, you will create a gap, and then the bar essentially has to cover that gap with a bar crash. Now on to number 5, which is pressing the jerk. Notice I'm emphasizing the word pressing, as this is what I see with lifters all the time who are trying to get better at the jerk initially, is they use the arms to push the bar up instead of pushing them under after leg drive. If the arms take over early, that's when you notice that your split positioning is quite short and you'll more than likely meet the bar with arms that haven't even locked out yet. Here's what's actually happening. Your legs aren't doing the complete job in the dip and drive of the jerk. So your arms try to make up the difference, or you implement them too early so the legs can't drive to their full potential. Now, it may come as a shock to you, but your arms are nowhere near as strong as your legs. Crazy to say. So if you're performing the lift with the arms as the main driver in the jerk, you are limiting that height and power you give the bar significantly. The fix: commit to your leg drive first, strong dip, vertical drive, then you use the arms to guide the bar back and push yourself under, searching for that solid lockout. And this is where the jerk gets a lot of people, where the clean feels really easy, they're very confident going in, then they get exposed in the jerk by trying to muscle their way through it instead of moving under the bar efficiently. So if you're stuck around these transitional weights where muscling through isn't going to get you over the hill to hit these bigger weights that you're more than strong enough and capable of doing, you need to commit to building the proper technical fundamentals to continue to progress. Better positioning and timing, faster and more confident movement under the bar into those bottom depth catch positions. And I know this firsthand because this is exactly how I started out. Even if you're a freak of strength, muscling through reps with half-assed technique won't work in the long run. Now, as I said before, if you want to crunch your own numbers into my efficiency calculator, it is free in the link at the top of the description, where alongside giving what you should be able to lift, you'll have a scorecard to enter your current bests, where it'll give you actionable tips if you do test inefficient on certain lifts. And if you want to go deeper into your weightlifting journey, YouTube has suggested 2 videos here that it says you'll find helpful.